everyone a little bit of information about the inside track and let you know what's new and exciting with the Alaska Railroad for 2015. So to get started, we are Alaska's premier transportation and Alaska Adventure vacation provider, and we're also your ticket to Alaska and to different Alaska adventures. So with that, I'd like to say that our overall belief is that we believe that everyone's journey should be just as spectacular as the destination. And so with that, I'd like to start off with all of us taking a little ride together along the Alaska Railroad rail belt. So there we have it, the Alaska Railroad and its fabulous 500 miles of rail belt. And again, we do want folks to be able to enjoy the journey, and hopefully you thought that was a great way to start off so that you could all get a little picture of what the Alaska Railroad and Alaska is all about if you haven't had a chance to come up and visit with us here yet in the last great frontier. So we do connect the communities of both South Central, which is, of course, where Anchorage is located, and on up to interior Alaska, so, of course, ending up in Fairbanks. We've been serving customers since 1923, and our motto is that we're with you all the way from visiting us on our website to giving us a call, talking with one of our friendly reservations team, to our friendly onboard conductors. Our knowledgeable Alaska-based agents that will greet your clients at the ticket counter when they check in at our depots for their train trips. And our Alaska tour guides, which are local youth that are on board. They can share their fun anecdotal tales and stories while folks travel along the Alaska Railroad. And now let's talk a little bit about that rail belt. So here's a nice picture of the entire rail belt. So starting down there on the southern tip in Seward, Alaska at mile 0. And Seward, of course, is a cruise port town. Many of the larger cruise ship companies do come into Seward. And we go all the way up past, of course, through Whittier, Anchorage, Wasilla, Talkeetna, Hurricane, Denali National Park, and on up to Fairbanks. So again, it is just over about 500 miles of track. So our daily summer service, which of course is our more popular service, being that the temperatures are a little more moderate, a little less snow of course, and as you can see here we still have those snow-capped mountain peaks in the background, but also very bright and vibrant wildflowers, and of course in this picture you can see that spring has definitely sprung. And moving on, let's chat a little bit about each of our trains. So the Coastal Classic train is one of our summer trains. It operates daily from mid-May to mid-September. It departs early from Anchorage, as you can see here, at 6:45. We do pass through Girdwood, so if you have clients that are staying in the beautiful scenic little town of Girdwood, nestled along Turnagain Arm, perhaps they're staying at the Hotel Alyeska or at one of the B&Bs there, we can of course stop and pick them up and take them on down south to the coastal town of Seward. So we depart early, as I said, 6:45, make a quick stop in Girdwood at 8 o'clock, and then we get to Seward a little after 11. And that train does come back in the evening, so it departs Seward just after 6 o'clock, and we get back to Anchorage at 10:15. So it can be a nice day trip for folks that aren't planning to spend a couple nights down in Seward. They'd like to get down to that nice little coastal town. So here is a nice photo on the way. This is traveling along Turnagain Arm. And of course, amazing views en route when you're traveling south. And we go through a few tunnels, actually 5 tunnels en route to Seward. And as you can see here, very picturesque and scenic landscapes. Opportunities to view wildlife along the way, which we do indeed slow the train down if we see wildlife so that folks can get a nice chance to get a look at them. And as I mentioned, arriving to the coastal town of Seward, Alaska, as you can see here. We do get to Seward, as I said, a little after 11, which is perfect time to connect with a marine wildlife and glacier tour in Kenai Fjords National Park for the day. And we work with many day trip providers. They'll actually meet your guests right there at the depot and pick them up and take them out for a great day trip. And they'll return them in the evening to catch that Coastal Classic train, usually bringing guests back about 5:30 to catch that 6 o'clock train to return to Anchorage. And so here is a quick review of all that information. So that Coastal Classic train travels round trip between Anchorage and Seward daily, and of course views of glaciers, wildlife, and the soaring peaks of the Chugach Range along the way. So this is our schedule and fares. So a quick peek at what you can see there. If you'd like to order one of our schedule and fares online, I'll give you the information for that when we wrap up. But the prices are broken down between our 2 classes of service, which we'll talk a little bit more about here in a few minutes. Yeah, and then here's a menu key. It'll show you for our 2nd class of service, Gold Star. When we're going through the different trains, I will have one of these photos for each so that you can get an idea of prices, and of course with the key there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that are included in the Gold Star service. And so move along to our flagship train, which is the Denali Star train. It also runs daily during summer, mid-May through mid-September. Departs from Anchorage, but it also departs from Fairbanks. So we have sort of sister trains crossing tracks during the day there. But we'll talk about Anchorage going northbound this morning. So we will leave Anchorage at 8:15. We're going to pop on through to Wasilla, make a stop there, up to Talkeetna. A lot of folks spend some time in Talkeetna. They'll spend a few nights there doing different activities. Then we continue on past Hurricane and, of course, on up to Denali National Park, where, again, many folks like to stop, spend 2 or 3 nights, and then continuing on up to Fairbanks, Alaska, which is our northernmost point on the rail belt. So we depart at 8:15, we get to Fairbanks about 8 p.m., and again that train does run daily southbound as well during summer. Departs Fairbanks at 8:15 and arrives to Anchorage just after 8 p.m. So here's a nice photo of Mount McKinley en route to Talkeetna and arriving to the quaint Talkeetna Depot. I don't know if many of you folks out there remember the show Northern Exposure. It was loosely based on life in Talkeetna, Alaska. And of course, from Talkeetna, we continue on to Denali National Park, where many adventures await for you. And again, here's a beautiful photo of Mount McKinley, the tallest peak in North America at 20,322 feet. And I always suggest to folks that they spend plenty of time in Talkeetna and getting on up into Denali, because again, there's so many activities that you can do, from, gosh, rafting tours to fishing, and of course flight seeing, which you can see a nice group photo here from some folks that did a flight seeing trip with us with K2 Aviation out of Talkeetna. And now we're going to continue on past Denali on up toward Fairbanks. We're going to make a quick stop in Denali National Park at the depot there to drop off guests that might be spending 2 or 3 nights there. Gosh, or even longer if you'd like. And we can help with putting packages together for your guests. So if you're looking for a tour into Denali National Park, you're wanting to get some folks on one of the motor coach tours that go in there to look for the Big Five and looking for bears and moose and wolves and eagles and all that fun stuff, we can definitely help you with that. And of course, lodging. And there's a photo here of one of the lodges that we work with in Denali National Park, and we are happy to get those coordinated and included in your guest's itinerary. And continuing on, this is going north out of Denali. It's a beautiful fall color photo. And arriving to the Golden Heart City of Fairbanks, Alaska. And a lot of folks think that Fairbanks, since it's more in the interior and a little farther north, of course, than Anchorage, that it's going to be cold and chilly all year round. But as you can see here, it's not. Fairbanks is actually known for having very moderate and warm temperatures during summer. And of course, they are the land of the midnight sun officially, where they really do have that more of that 24 hours of daylight during summer. It's a great spot to travel up to. Lots of museums and native culture to check out there too. So here we go, reviewing the Denali Star train schedule. So again, we depart from Anchorage at 8:15. We're going to make stops in Wasilla, Talkeetna, and Denali National Park en route to Fairbanks going northbound, and of course southbound. We're going to do that all in reverse. And here you can see our rates again. You have the adult and the children's prices, as well as the 2 different prices between Adventure and Gold Star. And now we're going to move on to the Glacier Discovery train. And this train has a little bit more complicated schedule, but it's because we get options to visit a lot more places as far as our different whistle stop options and getting out to Whittier. So the Glacier Discovery train is also another day trip train out of Anchorage. Departs 9:45 from Anchorage. We're going to head on down to Girdwood to pick up guests there. We're going to stop out in Whittier, where we'll go through the second longest tunnel in the U.S. and get out to the cruise port of Whittier, where Princess does bring their cruise ships in. Folks may opt to do a boat tour from there, or perhaps they're getting off a Princess cruise and they'd like to start an Alaska Railroad vacation package, which we can help with. We're going to come back through that tunnel out of Whittier, and we're going to stop in Portage to pick up guests, and then we're going to continue on to the Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop, and then on to Grandview. And as you can see, different times there for getting out to the different stops, and we do return back to Anchorage in the evening about 9:15. Lots of options in between and fun things to do. So here is a photo of one of those marine and wildlife day cruises out of Whittier. So again, we stop going from Anchorage out onto Whittier. You can hop on one of these marine, wildlife, and glacier tours, get a nice option to get up close and personal to some glaciers and wildlife out there. And even if folks have come in on a cruise ship, this is still a great way to get a little bit more of an intimate experience with the glaciers and fjords and whatnot. And now we're moving on to the Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop. And this is a really unique location. The Alaska Railroad has partnered with the Forest Service to be able to put together a very light footprint of an area, but we're able to access that and have guests come out to experience this area that's only available by hopping on the train with us during summer. So you can see here, there's a nice beautiful photo of the train going over the bridge, heading out past Spencer. Some gals, oh, that's me and my best friend actually, coming out to the Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop for some fun paddling on the lake out there. And we have another gal down there stopping to check out the fireweed. So here are a few of the other activities that you can do out there. You can do some guided rafting or canoeing. You could do a self-guided walk out there. Your clients could purchase a picnic lunch on the train and spend the day out there just exploring. As you can see, you can get up close and very personal with the lake out there and the Spencer Glacier. It's kind of from the mild to the wild out there. So you have those activities that you can choose. Join a Forest Service ranger for an interpretive walk around the lake, do the rafting or the canoeing with one of our guide services out there. Or if you have folks that are even a little more adventurous, we do have helicopter tours out there where folks can come out, take a helicopter, disembark the helicopter, and actually do some ice climbing. And this would be learning how to get up there and really dig in your ice axe, or you can be more like me. I stay a little closer to the ground, and this is about as high up as I get, but it's a fun, adventurous trip. I definitely would say the other options that we have as far as the rafting, the guided canoeing, the interpretive hike with the Forest Service Ranger, that would definitely be for any adventure level. And then, of course, the ice climbing, you're getting folks for sure that are, you know, a little more aggressive with wanting to get out there and get on the ice. It's definitely a different experience. So, if you have guests that would like to just do the sightseeing opportunity out of Anchorage, they are welcome to do that. They don't have to stop in Whittier and disembark the train. They'll just come through the tunnel and see what that's like, come back out through Portage, past Spencer Glacier after we let our guests get off the train there, and we're going to keep continuing on to the Grandview area and past Bartlett Glacier, which you can see here. Very beautiful, beautiful sightseeing trip for the day. Great way to take in the scenery, maybe look for some wildlife and just kind of relax and hang out for the day. And then once we are done, we go out to Grandview. We're going to come back and we're going to pick up our guests that have done the other day trips for the day and return to Anchorage. We do also have a motor coach option for this trip. Folks can choose to just stay on board, and then they'll come back and disembark from our Portage whistle stop, and we could put them on a motor coach and get them back to town around 6:30 rather than coming back at that 9:15 time. So if you have folks that do want to get out, do that day trip out of Anchorage, but perhaps want to get back in time for a dinner reservation in downtown Anchorage at 7:30, well, we can help with that too, with that motor coach option. So here is that review again. We travel from Anchorage out to Whittier, Portage, Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop, and then through that beautiful Placer River Valley, past Bartlett Glacier, and the Alpine Meadows of Grandview. And a quick review of that schedule, going from Anchorage to Girdwood, out to Portage, and on, and again, we have our prices for adults and youth. This is only adventure class for this train. We'll talk a little bit more about our classes of services after we wrap up our train discussion. So now we're moving on to the Hurricane Turn Train. So this is a little bit different of a schedule for summer. We operate Thursdays through Mondays. We used to only operate this train Thursday through Sunday, but it's been so popular that we added a Monday departure as well. It also runs the first Thursday of the month during winter. So it's a little bit different of a schedule. Again, we are a year-round operation. So we are able to accommodate your guests that are coming in summer or winter, and we'll also talk a little bit more about winter in a few minutes. So the Hurricane Turn is a sightseeing train. It departs from Talkeetna at 12:45, and it's a full day trip bringing you back to Talkeetna about 7 p.m. It does traverse the same track that folks will take on our Denali Star train that goes from Anchorage on up to Fairbanks. And this is one of the most scenic parts of the rail belt here, going from Talkeetna. You pass a couple of, like, we have Curry, Gold Creek, some of the older gold mining places from back in the day there, on up to Chilitna and Hurricane. And here is the Hurricane Gulch Bridge. It's the longest bridge on the rail belt at 918 feet, and it's also just under 300 feet tall. So it's a pretty good look over the side there, but as you can see, it's a beautiful, beautiful area. So the Hurricane Turn Train is one of the last true flag stop trains in North America, so meaning folks really can, along this specific portion of the rail belt and with this train, pull out their yellow bandana and flag down the train if they are, gosh, they've been out to their family's homestead cabin, or they've been out to their friend's favorite fishing hole and they want to hop back on the train to catch a ride back to Talkeetna. Well, we can make that happen. And it's pretty neat to see some of the homesteads along the rail belt when you're traveling out there. So you get to travel that roadless area between Talkeetna and the Hurricane Bridge and onto the Hurricane Section House, and then we'll bring you back to Talkeetna in the evening. Round trip, day trip, as I said, it's Thursdays through Mondays, and it's during summer, and then we do operate that train, same departure, on the first Thursday of the month during winter. And moving right into winter. So our Aurora winter train, it departs on Saturdays from Anchorage at 8:30 a.m. We do stop in Wasilla and Talkeetna There's not a whole lot going on in Denali National Park during winter, so we don't stop there. Rather, we continue on up to Fairbanks and get you our clients on up there for some other exciting activities. And we usually get into Fairbanks just around 8:30. And then we do come back on Sundays. So Sundays we'll depart Fairbanks in the morning and come on back down the rail belt to Anchorage. So this train has been so popular that during the months of February through mid-March, we've added some additional departures during the week. So we'll be leaving on Tuesdays, going from Anchorage up to Fairbanks, and then bringing folks back on Wednesday. Or if you have folks that are looking for a longer departure, adding a few nights up in Fairbanks or maybe in Talkeetna, they could take the train on a Tuesday, stop in Talkeetna for a couple nights perhaps. Maybe they'll motor coach or do some flight seeing on up to Fairbanks, and then they could hop on that train and come back from Fairbanks on Sunday during winter. So if you have clients and guests that are interested in coming up for the Fur Ronde Festival or the Iditarod Last Great Sled Dog Race, please, give us a call and let us know, or check out our packages for winter online, because we can help put together a great trip for them. And again, it's been very exciting for us to be able to add that midweek train during February and March to accommodate the additional guests that are coming up for those events. So winter, a lot of folks think, oh my gosh, so cold, 24 hours of darkness, but it is not that way at all. As you can see here, we still get a few hours of daylight even at the longest, or rather the shortest day of the year, which is December 21st. We start gaining daylight again after that, and as you can see, visiting in winter, which a lot of people think, oh, I don't know, but then you see pictures like this and you realize it is simply stunning, and it really is authentic Alaska coming up during winter. And that service, of course, opposite of our summer is mid-September to mid-May. Here's some other fun photos. You can see our Alaska Railroad train moving right along there during winter, and then some of the options with our packages, such as a horse-drawn carriage ride up in Fairbanks out of Chena Hot Springs. We work with Trish at the Talkeetna, her little roadhouse in Talkeetna during winter. She does a pie making class on Saturdays. So a quick weekend adventure for guests that might be based out of Anchorage. They can hop on the train on Saturday, go to Talkeetna and overnight at the roadhouse, make a couple of pies with Trish, maybe do some snowshoeing or cross-country skiing, and we'll pick you up on Sunday and bring you on back to Anchorage. And of course, lots of other beautiful things to think about and experience during winter, such as coming up to see the aurora and the beautiful northern light views that you can see. Of course, fun outdoor winter activities such as downhill and cross-country skiing or even snowboarding. Gosh, dog sledding as well. And then down here, that last picture is from the Ice Arts Championship Festival that happens in Fairbanks in March. Super beautiful, and truth be told, this sculpture here, its picture doesn't do it justice, but it's probably between 16 and 20 feet tall. It's beautiful, beautiful. So a quick review then of that Aurora winter train. It is a flag stop train, as is that hurricane turn that we talked about that operates Thursdays through Mondays during summer. The Aurora train operates weekends mid-September through mid-May between Anchorage and Fairbanks, and as I mentioned, we have that special midweek Aurora train service that's going to be happening at the end of February through mid-March. And this gives you an idea of some of our other packages that we have. Anything from 1 night to 5 nights or longer. We can definitely put together some great packages during winter as well. So let's go back and do a recap of all those trains, and then we'll move on to our classes of service. The Denali Star train, it's our flagship train that departs daily during summer between Anchorage and Fairbanks, and we stop in Talkeetna, Denali National Park, and of course on up to Fairbanks. Then we have our Coastal Classic train. It's more of our early bird train. Departs daily from Anchorage. We make a stop in Girdwood, head on down to Seward, and of course traveling through the Chugach Range, and again that train does come back at the end of the day. The Glacier Discovery train, a great day trip train with lots of fun adventures that you can stop and do along the way, that travels from Anchorage out to Whittier. We come back to Portage, on out to the Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop, past the Plaza River Valley, and out to Grandview. And the Hurricane Turn Flag Stop train, that's our short little Thursday through Monday sightseeing train, travels between Talkeetna and the Hurricane Section House. Great opportunity for your self-drivers that might be spending a couple days in Talkeetna. Maybe they aren't looking for a longer train ride, or they're definitely going north out of Anchorage. Great opportunity for them to still be able to hop on the train and get some nice flight sightseeing in. And of course the Aurora Winter Train, our flag stop train that operates on weekends between mid-September in mid-May between Anchorage and Fairbanks. We have those couple additional trains in February and March. Some more schedule and pricing information, including those cutouts that I showed along the way, are available at alaskarailroad.com/schedule. There you can go to check out those timetables and the schedule spares and whatnot, and even request some brochures. So to talk a little bit about the different rates that we looked at today and the services that are included. So we looked at adult, and then the child rate, of course, was on there. Our children, what we denote as that, is 2 to 11 years old. And then a couple other things when you're looking through those. RT, of course, is for round trip. And then WS refers to that whistle-stop service that we covered. And that does include that guided hike with a Forest Service Ranger. So when you're perusing through that schedule, just a little bit of fun stuff to know there. And then our summer trains, we get this question a lot. There are dining options available as well as baggage service at our depots. Our trains are no smoking, and we do have wheelchair access unless you see that otherwise noted in that schedule. We can usually accommodate anyone of any different nature, of things needing a little assistance to wheelchair assistance. We do have folks that can help with getting them on train, as well as gosh, we even have a lift in our Gold Star cars to get them from the access level up to the second level. And now our Aurora winter trains are a little different. As we know, they run on weekends with the addition of those couple other midweek during February and March. The flag stop service operates northbound on Saturdays, and we come southbound on Sundays. And with that flag stop service, the schedule time that you see in the schedules and fares can vary just a little bit, but it's never enough to knock anyone's schedule off track. No pun intended. Baggage service is available for winter in Anchorage and Fairbanks at our depots there only, and onboard dining is available. And for onboard services, we do have, as I mentioned, the different dining cars, the baggage service in Anchorage and Fairbanks. Also, again, during winter, of course, non-smoking cars, wheelchair access. You know, important to note that we do ask that if you have folks that have some accessibility issues, just let us know ahead of time and we'll make sure that we can accommodate them. All right, and now moving on to where we're going to find out another what's new is talking about our 2 classes of service. And so what you'll see here is a picture of one of our adventure class cars. Very comfortable, forward-facing, roomy seats, lots of space to get up and move around. You can see these 2 guests here are probably walking between cars, going to take some photos, maybe on one of our viewing vestibules. And again, here's another photo. There's those comfortable seats, the large picture windows. Gosh, the seats actually recline. Some of them even have footrests. We do have open-air viewing vestibules located on the back of all of our cars on the DENALI Star, the Coastal Classic, and the Glacier Discovery, where adventure class service is available. And now here's a photo. This is a little bit different car that we have on the DENALI Star and the Coastal Classic. It is called our Vista Dome car. And with the Vista Dome car, there are 36 seats in the level, which you can kind of see back there. If you look toward the back of the image there, there's some little steps that you walk down. Those are the reserved seats. So 36 seats of reserved guests on the bottom, and then we have 26 seats in the upper level where folks can come up and they just kind of take turns. It's sort of a self-policing area. Usually works out quite well. But it gives folks an opportunity to get that dome car experience if they're traveling in adventure class. So we don't always have these cars on, but you are welcome to ask if there's a Vista Dome car when you're making your reservation for the day if you have folks that are traveling in adventure class. This is actually one of my favorite cars. I kind of like that they have more of the older historical look to them too. And yeah, they're just very comfortable. Kind of a fun little different way to travel. And then moving on to our Gold Star service, which is available on the DENALI Star and the Coastal Classic trains. So the DENALI Star cars are a little different. They're bi-level dome cars. So as you can see here, great views, and your reserved seat is up on that second level. We have 72 seats on the second level, and downstairs on the bottom level, there are dining tables. And we can accommodate 36 folks at a time. So again, the Gold Star service is on our DENALI Star and Coastal Classic, and very exciting for 2015 for us is that it's the 10th anniversary of Gold Star service. So it's a big anniversary for us, and to commemorate that, what we've decided to do is take it all-inclusive. So let's take another couple quick peeks at the inside. So there's that reserved seating on the second level. And we have that private upper level viewing platform. The only cars of this kind in the world actually that have the second level viewing platform, so we're pretty proud of them. Of course, stunning views, a great vantage point for photos to take along the way, and we are also at the front of the train with the Gold Star cars. We have a private bar attendant in each of the cars. We do serve complimentary beverages on board, so coffee, soda, tea, things like that. And full service dining. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner are on board for Adventure Class and Gold Star. So for Denali Star and Coastal Classic trains, we have the full service dining available. Lots of great menu choices. And of course, if you do have clients that so choose to partake, we do have great local microbrews on board, as well as the other favorites, as Budweiser, things like that. But the microbrews from the local areas in Alaska are great. You could actually probably do a microbrew tour from Seward all the way on up to Fairbanks, because it's really caught on up here. So lots of great things to sample. So with the Gold Star service, the big to-do with the all-inclusive and with the pricing, if you notice, we did have those noted with the B for breakfast, L for lunch, which is super salad plus a choice of a main lunch entree, and then D for dinner for super salad plus a dinner entree plus dessert. And for each ticket on board, say you have folks that are traveling on the Coastal Classic and they're going from Anchorage down to Seward for the day, and they're coming back in the evening taking that train round trip. So they would have breakfast in the morning going down with a choice of 2 adult beverages. They'd go out, do their day tour, explore Seward for the day, hop back on the train with us in the evening at 6, have a delicious sit-down hot meal for dinner, and again, they would have a choice of 2 adult beverages. Now on the flip side of that, if you had folks that were traveling from Anchorage on up to Denali for the day, so they'll have breakfast in the morning, and then they'll also have lunch included in their ticket price. And they would have 2 adult beverages for the entire time of that journey. So for that ticket day from Anchorage to Denali would include breakfast, lunch, and 2 adult beverages. And of course, all of the non-alcoholic beverages are included as well. So you have the full price of the ticket, plus the meals and the adult beverages, and the gratuity is also included, and we've made that all commissionable to you. So we thought that that was a pretty good win for everybody, for our travel trade partners, as well as our guests that are coming on board. It's a great added service. So greater commissions, world-class service, kind of taking it to that next level. So we are pretty excited about that. And we have options on board. So for the Denali Star, the Coastal Classic, and the Glacier Discovery, we also have the Wilderness Cafe. The Wilderness Cafe has more of those grab-and-go food items. It also gives you another place to get up and mill about. Maybe you want to play some cards if you've been on the train for the day. Maybe you're traveling from Anchorage on up to Fairbanks and you've had breakfast and you want to go grab lunch in the cafe and maybe play some cards and watch the sights from there. You're welcome to do that, because of course guests can get up and move about in the different cars. And we are with you all the way, as I mentioned in the beginning of our presentation today, from the beginning to the end of your journey. You can see one of our friendly conductors here greeting a guest who's coming up to the Gold Star service. And here are another photo of some of our friendly onboard team. And where do we go from here? We are hoping that you are already partnered with us, and if not, we would love to be your partner in Alaska travel. Or your ticket to Alaska Adventure, of course. We can put together different packages for you, as well as just rail transportation from point A to point B. And so everything I've shared with you right now is kind of just the tip of the iceberg, or the glacier. We do have lots more of information available for you online, and we will have a new and exciting updated website coming in the next year as well, which we are very excited about. So you can find lots of information on how to partner with us, commissions, FAM opportunities, e-newsletters, webinars, and more online. You can also order brochures from us. And so all of this can be found on alaskarailroad.com/traveltrade. And you are just around the bend from becoming an Alaska Rail Specialist, which is a great way to learn more about the Alaska Railroad, and it's a part of our partnership program. It's just 2 simple steps. Complete our online training webinar and register with us, and voila, you are an Alaska Railroad partner. And of course, we're always here to help. Our reservations team, we are open year-round, of course, and our Alaska-based folks can help you with questions and customizing packages, putting together different itineraries. Maybe you have folks that are coming up on a cruise and they would like to do a land tour, and they're looking for something with a little more customization than what you can get through the cruise ship companies. We're happy to help out with that. We also have a new e-newsletter that we will be launching this spring. You can also sign up for that on our travel trade page. Talks a little bit about how we are your ticket to greater commissions, give you some updates on Gold Star service, specials on summer packages, winter Iditarod specials, all kinds of good information that will happen. And there you can see a little snapshot of our Alaska Railroad Travel Agent Training. And so let's talk a little bit about how you do book with us and sign up to partner. You can call us at 800-522-0554 and ask that the information that you need to submit be sent to you. You can email us at reservations@akrr.com, or the easiest way to go about it is just visit us on alaskarailroad.com/traveltrade. Look at our 2 simple steps. There's a PDF that you can click on there, and it'll tell you exactly what information to email to that reservations at address. And of course, all this information is on that PDF document for you. And any of our agents can help put that together. We'll need your agency name, tax ID number, address, phone, email, your company website, your certification. You know, I audited ArcTrue or CLIA. I know there are a few other ones out there that folks have mentioned to me. If indeed you have a different certification that you don't see listed here, please do email me. I'll give you my email at the end of our presentation today, and I can take a look at that as well. But again, just visiting us at alaskarailroad.com/traveltrade, you'll see our webinar as well as step number 2 of getting that PDF, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do, as well as once you are partnered with us and actively selling Alaska Railroad, we do have some great FAM opportunities available for folks. So we do offer 60% off during summer for you and a guest if you are an Alaska Railroad partner, and during winter we are happy to accommodate you and a guest at our cost so that you can come up, because we really do want folks to experience winter and realize that, yes, we are a very popular summer destination, but winter is also a fabulous time to come and visit us too. Yes, and that last filled out W-9. So very important that when you do email your information back to us that you include that W-9, because we cannot get you set up without that and without one of your certification numbers, because we do use those for your ID code in our Travel Studio reservation system. Okay, so moving right along, we talked a little bit about commissions and how to sign up with us. And again, we do offer a 10% commission for travel trade agents on rail tours, as well as our more all-inclusive packages. So let's take a look at one of those adventure packages. This is our Deluxe Alaska Sampler. It's a very popular 7-day trip, and of course you're going to experience all of the rail belt, so it travels through South Central and Interior Alaska. It's available from May 31st through September 5th for different packages. Day 1, you're going to have folks come in. They're going to either come in by cruise ship or fly into Anchorage and spend the night in Anchorage. Next day, we're going to get up, take the Coastal Classic down to Seward, do a Kenai Fjords National Park, and look for those tidewater glaciers and marine wildlife, and overnight in Seward. Day 3, we're going to explore the Alaska Sea Life Center, which is a beautiful, beautiful facility that's in Seward, Alaska. It's a rescue facility for marine wildlife. There are some hand-on tours, gosh, large viewing tanks, all kinds of things. I can't really do it justice. I probably should have thrown a picture or 2 up here, but you should definitely take a look at the Alaska Sea Life Center. Take a look online and learn a little bit more about that great facility. Then we're going to venture on out to the Exit Glacier and do a short little walking tour out there. It's a well-groomed path, easy for anybody to travel along. And then lunch at an Alaska Roadhouse and do a dog sled tour, which we can do during summer. It's a little different. The dogs pull wheeled sleds, or wheeled vehicles rather, during summer. Or we can actually change this up and get you out onto a place where you can fly in and actually get on some snow and get on a real dog sled too. And then we are going to take the train from Seward back to Girdwood and stay at the Hotel Alyeska for a night. Day 4, we're going to hop on that Glacier Discovery train and head on out to the Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop, and we're going to join a float trip, so a rafting trip that is fully guided, gear provided, etc. And then we'll take a motor coach transfer after we take that train back to Portage, and we're going to get back into Anchorage in time for your dinner reservations for your clients downtown. So day 5, we're going to head north and go to Denali National Park and check out the Alaska Cabin Night Dinner Theater in Denali that's at one of the lodges there. Then we'll overnight. Day 6, spend the day doing a Denali National Park tour. It's a narrated tour. It is a full day. It's just over 13 hours into the park. Gosh, you have a box lunch with you, snacks along the way, coffee, tea, cocoa. You make a lot of different stops so you can get out and spread, stretch your legs a little bit, make some bathroom stops, things like that. And then we're going to go to the end of the park road, have a buffet lunch, and then travel on back to the park entrance. And then we'll stay another night in Denali. As I said, it's always good for guests to spend like 1 or 2 nights in Talkeetna, and I always recommend 2 to 3 nights in Denali as well as heading on up to Fairbanks. Just, if they have the time and they can really get out and do the experiences, it's a good way to go. So day 7, we're going to take a 4-wheel drive Jeep ride for a thrilling guided journey into Denali's backcountry. So it's a 3.5-hour tour. They do include a snack and, of course, the beautiful scenery, and you are actually within the boundaries of Denali National Park. That afternoon, we're going to come back out, hop on the Denali Star, and you're going to come back and visit us, of course, in Anchorage for another night, getting in about 8:15. Now, we do have customizing options, of course, as well as different optional Anchorage add-ons. And say you're going to be up and you'll end your departure or your itinerary in Fairbanks, we'll have different optional add-ons throughout our package catalog for you as well to look at, to customize your client's trips. They could spend another day to Anchorage. Gosh, they could fly out to Redoubt Bay and do a bear viewing tour, which is a phenomenal trip. They could stay in Anchorage and check out some of the local restaurants and the microbreweries here, do some shopping. We also don't have sales tax in Anchorage, which a lot of folks don't know, and a lot of clients and shoppers like to hear about that. So again, no sales tax. So this tour, for example, for doing commissions, you'll see we have the 2 different prices, the $2,419 per person. That does include the different hotel tours and meals and options that we just reviewed. And then you'll see the Gold Star package pricing as well. So let's take a look at how that would break down for commissions for us. So we do offer, as I mentioned, 10% on all rail, any tours and activities, and any hotel lodging booked with us. So that Deluxe Alaska Sampler, 7 days and 7 nights, included all those options that we mentioned. So $29.69 for a family of 4 is $1,188 in your pocket. So it's a pretty nice way, pretty nice commission, of course, and it's a very popular tour. It's a great way for folks to come up. It is 7 days. I do usually recommend that folks try to say 10 to 2 weeks, but if they do just have that 1 week time, it's an excellent option for them. So kind of moving on from all that, please do remember, we're your ticket to a adventure. We're here for you. It's very easy to sign up and partner with us. And once you do, we would love to have you come up and experience what we're all about. And thank you so much for joining us. So here is, again, that URL for our travel trade site, www.alaskarailroad.com/travel-trade. And here's a Bon Voyage picture from me. This is actually, I was doing the real Alaska tour from the 7-day trip that we just chatted about, and this is a tour at the dog sled facility. We did get to go out and do the dog cart ride for the day and visit with the new puppies that had been born just a couple weeks before. So it was a lot of fun. And here is my contact information. I'm one of 2 passenger sales manager for the railroad. We cover a lot of territory, be it domestic and internationally. And my email address if you have any specific questions. It's Dudikh, D-U-D-I-C-K-H, @AKRR.com. So that's about it for me. We'll give it back to Sarah and see if we had any questions that came in along the way. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. And again, Happy New Year. And I look forward to seeing you on the Alaska Railroad.
Thank you so much, Heather. That was very informative. As I mentioned in the beginning, you guys can go ahead and type your questions in that question pane in your GoToMeeting panel. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. Heather, I think in the beginning you were talking about carrying cruise passengers, if I'm right. Does the train carry cruise passengers from all cruise tour packages, or is there preferential seating? How does that work?
Well, it really depends. We do have a Grandview cruise train, which it's not a publicly bought into train daily. So, for example, Holland America, Norwegian, some of those cruise companies that come into Seward, for example, they will book into the Grandview cruise train, and that is something that agents can ask about when they're booking directly with Holland. We don't sell that through here. Those are trains that are contracted. We do partnership, of course, with all of the cruise companies that come up, great partners. So when I'm talking about doing more like a complimentary cruise tour, it's for folks that, yes, are coming into Seward, or they're coming in on the Princess. Princess is the only cruise line now coming into Whittier. We can put together, gosh, you know, a 2-day to 2-week package for those cruise guests that are coming in. The cruise companies, of course, do offer their own land tour packages, but sometimes I know a lot of agents that I've talked to at different events, like Cruise 360, for example, will come up and say, hey, you know, we love working with the cruise companies. We, you know, we get our special commission rates from them, but we're looking for something that's a little less off the shelf, more customizable. We want to spend more time in, say, Seward, or we want to spend more time in Denali National Park. We're able to put together packages that can start in either Seward or Whittier to accommodate those special requests for guests.
Okay, great. And then if someone has bookings with families or groups traveling together, are you guys able to seat families or groups together on the train?
Absolutely. And if there are any agents or tour operators that are listening today that actually specifically cater towards groups, we do have special, like we can do a 10% for groups of 20 or more with a free guide to come with, or gosh, I actually have a groups person. She puts together different agreements and whatnot for groups that are coming up that want to request block space. So yes, we can definitely accommodate that. And then on a lighter scale for people, say you have a family of 12 people that are traveling together, as long as we, you know, are looking at early enough in the season that we can put their seats together, of course we would. And for families of 4 to 6, things like that, it's never an issue to accommodate them and seat people together.
Okay, great. I know you gave us some contact information earlier in the presentation for your general reps. Would it make sense for the agents to contact that phone number and email, or you directly?
If it's something that's well, gosh, I would say if it is questions about signing up as a partner, my first and easiest step would be to go to the travel trade page on the website. The information for the webinar is right there on that page. That 2-step process that I discussed is right there as well. What they can do once they download that PDF and they gather up all their information, they can simply email it, attach their completed W-9 to the reservations@akrr.com. Now again, that information is all on the PDF document. It outlines what information as well as the FAM opportunities for summer and winter. If they have more different questions, like they have, for example, a certification that isn't on that PDF document, I would definitely send that to me first. It's easier that way, because otherwise they'd be going through reservations and then they'll come and chat with me and say, hey, we have a different certification, haven't heard of this before, it's not on your approved list, what can we do? So definitely email me for that. Gosh, if you're going to be at Cruise 360 or maybe one of the Peninsula Roundtables coming up, and you know, we do things like that, like if they have events and things like that they're going to be at and they hope, you know, we're coming along the way, those are great things to email me about too. And actually on that note, with our new e-newsletter, I'm hoping that people will sign up for our e-newsletter, and then when we are coming out and traveling and bringing new brochures and bringing that 3-minute DVD that we saw at the beginning, I'd love to be able to shoot out an e-newsletter to, you know, Stephanie Smith in Ohio, who's going to be at the AAA Great Vacations Expo, gosh, next week in Columbus, Ohio, where we'll be, you know, like we'd love to be able to send that information out so that Travel Trade can come and, you know, meet in person and find out what's new and put a face with the voice, I guess, and visit us at different events too. So
great. One other question I don't know if this will take some research, but how close would you say a lot of these cruise ports are to where the trains leave from? For example, someone just brought up doing a pre-cruise that ends in Seward, and there's a Celebrity Cruise port there. Is there a lot of travel in between?
No, actually there isn't, and there's usually a shuttle service. There is a shuttle service available in Seward, as well as taxis. As far as Whittier, you are literally at the cruise port. We pull right up to it. And again, we do have, we always have someone that are in the cruise port down in Seward that can help direct people. And a lot of times the cruise ship companies will have somebody there as well. And often we have the boarding passes ready to go for folks that are heading back out or coming in for the railroad. So it's very, very easy.
Great. A lot of the other questions that I have received are about the slides and the presentations. I just want to remind everybody again, this presentation is being recorded and it will be posted in ASTA's e-library. The recording along with the PowerPoint slides. So if you just want to go through those slides again, those will be in the e-library as well. If you have any other questions, feel free to use the contact information Heather sent. And as always, you can always email us at askasta@asta.org, and we can make sure we get you in touch with the right people as well. Thank you again to Heather and everyone who joined us for today's presentation. This will conclude the webinar, and we hope everyone has a wonderful afternoon.
Sarah, can I add one more quick thing?
Yeah, sure.
If anyone is looking, like if they're asking specifically about like the schedule and fare slides that have the pricing, etc., those are available online. You can order a brochure online as well as our schedule and fares. It's a smaller booklet that just has the timetable and the rates, but we do have a full package brochure that has that schedule and fare included, as well as the customizable packages, day trip options, etc. It's super informative and has a lot of great information about our different classes of service too.
Great. Okay, perfect. Again, thanks so much, Heather, and everyone else who's on the call, and we look forward to welcoming you all back in the future.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.